welcome to True Heel Heat.
¿Qué tal? Soy Mike Cormack y estoy escuchando True Heel Heat.
Yo, this is Court Bauer from MLW. Shout out to True Heel Heat. Give them a listen.
Oye, te habla tío Sabio Vega. This is Sabio Vega and you watching True Heel Heat a mi manera o para la calle.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, back with another pre-recorded review. This time we're talking about AAA TripleMania Regia. This from this past Sunday, June 15, 2025, from Montenegro, Mexico, Arena Monterrey, from Nueve Leon, Mexico, as AAA holds its first TripleMania event of the year of, I think it's like 3 that they have the entire year. So we might be reviewing all of that either here on the True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel or on patreon.com/True Heel Heat. But we are here on the main channel for the first one. And like the headline says, what was this? WTF was this? I am very confused. I thought this was supposed to be a wrestling show. It was not that. It was not a good one. If you get your expectations skewed by Worlds Collide was definitely a collaboration show. I don't think that there is many companies that I can say in this world that needs WWE to book it for them more than AAA. AAA has become a promotion that is sometimes confusing to watch because they don't do the simple storytelling. They do very convoluted stuff, and this was another one of those. So join me for the ride. I appreciate y'all if you're joining us on demand. If you're watching us during the premiere, appreciate you as well. Show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat if you're watching us on the premiere. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about TripleMania Regia, and let's just get to it. Now, the full broadcast was not aired on the YouTube free feed that was given to us by AAA. They did have a couple of preliminary matches or main matches on this card that wasn't included in the YouTube feed. You had for the AAA Reina de Reyes Championship, you had Lady Flamer with Hydra and Lady Maraville getting the win over Lady Shanine and Dalise. You had La Parca, the new La Parca 2.0, if you will, and Aztec Warriors, Octagon Jr. and Laredo Kid defeating the Vipers. You had Mr. Iguana. How did you not pit Mr. Iguana on the free YouTube feed? You know how many additional views you would have got AAA if you had Mr. Iguana on this feed? Come on, guys. You got to do better than that. You got to be better than that. You got to do better. How? Yes, but Mr. Iguana, he teamed up with Nino Hamburgueses and Visal to defeat Tokyo Bad Boys in trios action. The Vipers tried to attack after the match, but Sapernerico made the save. And then we got the portion that was available for free on YouTube, which featured the new heel stable of AAA led by JBL. You also had Pena coming out here along with the AAA Tag Team Champions, NGD, as well as Judas Messias. They come out and they cut a promo in the ring, basically running down Monterrey, saying that Alberto El Patron will win the steel cage match main event over Vikingo. So we would see that later on in the show. And then we got our first matchup on the YouTube feed, which was for the TNA X Division Championship, as it would be Moose defending against Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. or Dr. Wagner Jr. the third, El Messias, Judas Messias, and Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry came out with a Spanish version of his theme song. Either it's culture appropriation or just a fun remix. You decide. But this was a multi-man matchup that featured some action. You got Moose showing more of his agility and his athleticism in here in the AAA ring. I like the fact that it was a 6-sided ring, so that brought back the old vibes of TNA and the X Division of the past. Messias and Moose, they teamed up with one another as being the Rudos in this matchup against the more technicals of Hendry and Dr. Wagner Jr. the third. Dr. Wagner Jr. the third, he's an absolute star, and he's someone that I think that AAA should do more with, but unfortunately, he was here to take the fall in the end as Moose and Messias, they double-teamed one another. They double-teamed on him. They double-teamed on Hendry. The babyfaces had their run for a bit in this one. Dr. Wagner Jr. actually showing off his strength, delivering a nice little Michinoku driver to Moose at one point, getting a near fall. However, in the end, it was Moose who picked up the victory with the no jackhammer needed spear on Dr. Wagner Jr. the third to pick up the victory in this one. I did not like the fact that Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. got the loss here because he just was part of the losing trios team against Legado del Fantasma at Worlds Collide, and he took the pinfall loss in that one to Santos Escobar. Him once again taking the loss here, I didn't really like that. Messias was there. He could have took the loss easily, even though he is a champion in AAA. I would have preferred for him to take the loss. Joe Hendry, even though he just lost the TNA World Championship, you just had his ass lose to Frankie Kazarian on the last TNA Against All Odds event, so why can't he lose here? Just didn't make sense. So Dr. Wagner Jr. III should be someone that AAA is building around because he just came over from a successful stint in Pro Wrestling Noah where he was GAC heavyweight champion. He was GAC openweight champion. He won the tag team titles as well. He should be a guy that they should be building the future around, along with your Vikingos, along with the popularity of Mr. Iguana, even though it's not as popular in Mexico, it seems, as he is in the United States. But you should be capitalizing on the momentum that these guys have, and it just seems like they're just going to squander it a bit by having them take all the losses in these major events. But we'll see what happens in the future. Next, we had them announcing that WWE will be running 2 huge shows in Mexico, the WWE Super Show Mexico, and some big names advertised for the event: Rey Mysterio, Penta, Cody Rhodes, The New Day, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Dominic Mysterio, Rey Fenix, Jacob Fatu, Io Sky, and Stephanie Vicaire. So it's going to be a mix of both Raw and SmackDown, some of the top stars going over to Mexico City on July 26th, and Monterrey, Mexico, the same arena that they were in for TripleMania Regia, on July 27th. This kind of feels like they're working against AAA and not, I don't know. Maybe to me, I don't know. I might be alone in this one, but I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know if that's going to work out for AAA or this is just to benefit WWE. In the future, we're going to see. We are going to see. But then we had some tag team action, AAA tag team championships up for grabs. NGD, Sanso, and for Stereo teaming up to defend their titles against a amalgamation of AAA, TNA, and WWE. As you had WWE represented by Los Garza of Legado del Fantasma with Angel Garza and Alberto Grillo versus Pagano and Psycho Clown of AAA. Love Psycho Clown coming out to his AAA theme, which is much more psycho mixed with the Mexican culture, and it always gets a big reaction from the fans out there. And TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan Nemeth. They did their thing in here. Their usual stick of Ryan Nemeth not being the most competent pro wrestler, while his brother is one of the better ones. You had Pagano and Psycho Clown, who were the very popular baby faces in this matchup. But you also had Los Garza, who were very popular in their own right. NGD, they had their fans in this one. But in the end, it was Los Garza with their double team power slam, basically like a reverse flapjack finisher that picked up the victory in this one to become the new AAA Tag Team Champions. I think out of all the 3 matches that were on the YouTube feed to this show, this was the best one. Not to say that it was a great match. It wasn't that. It was a good match. It was good. It was entertaining. The action was pretty fast-paced for what it needed to be. I thought that everybody worked well in this one. This is one I will actually give a rating to. I give it 3.25 stars. It was the best match of the 3. The X Division matchup, that was like 2 3/4. This one was a good matchup, solid work all around, and I like the surprising title change here with a WWE team winning a AAA gold. It didn't take long, unlike the TNA WWE partnership. It took a couple of months before Trick Williams won the TNA World Championship. They got it right out the way early with the WWE acquiring AAA and getting the titles onto Los Garza. A huge win for Angel and Berto, who have been working hard and putting on some good performances over on SmackDown. And they bring gold to Legado del Fantasma. And I think we might see another member of Legado del Fantasma get an opportunity at some gold in the future. I'll talk about that after we talk about the main event of TripleMania Regia. It was the third of a trilogy of matches between El Hijo del Vikingo and Alberto El Patron. Much of the conversation of this matchup is at the reaction from the Monterrey crowd. You got to understand, Alberto El Patron, despite being a horrible human being and doing a lot of disgusting acts that a lot of us in the United States don't like him for, and for good reason, because he is a little bit of a misogynist prick and not a good person in the least bit. But all of that withstanding, Mexico seems to love him, and he is viewed as a top star in Mexico due to his lengthy stint in WWE over the years. He's also had runs in Global Force Wrestling and, of course, TNA Wrestling, where he's a former TNA World Champion. So despite all the bad feelings, all the bad comments that we could say about Alberto El Patron, there's no denying he is viewed as a draw and a top guy in Mexico. And he has been built as their champion, their AAA Mega Champion, before this whole acquisition of by WWE of Lucha Libre AAA. Vikingo, however, he has been the upstart, and he's been someone that they've been building behind. He had a lengthy reign as AAA Mega Champion, almost a 2-year reign with that title. He went down with an injury that kept him sidelined. He got back-to-back injuries pretty much over the last year or so, and that's kept him out of action. And his star in Mexico has kind of seemed to dwindle. So a lot of the attention for this matchup had to do in regards to the fact that every time Vikingo was on the screen or came out for his entrance, and even during this matchup, he was booed heavily, and the crowd basically babyfaced Alberto El Patron. And I felt like this is not really like I said, I don't think that Vikingo is the star that Alberto is in Mexico, but I think a lot of that reaction have to do with Mexican fans reaction and feelings toward the top American promotion, the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, WWE purchasing AAA. They feel like these evil Americans have come in, they bought their Mexican promotion, and they're trying to put their fingerprints all over it by putting the title on who they view as the top guy, while they view the top guy as Alberto El Patron. I feel like it's a little bit of resentment towards the WWE coming into their world, and not as much of an indictment on Vikingo as a lot of people want it to be. So I just want to get that out the way before we talk about this awful match. It was a steel cage matchup for the AAA Mega Championship. Hijo del Vikingo, he had his father, King Vikingo, in his corner, as well as multiple babyfaces who would come out to help him. And Alberto El Patron, who came out with El Messias and JBL as well in his corner. This one, like I said, I thought that these two guys have had good matches in the past, in their past two meetings that they met over the AAA Mega Campeon. But this one was not that. It was a steel cage matchup. And the one thing that I hate about a steel cage matchup more than anything in pro wrestling is a steel cage matchup with massive amounts of interference. This might have well been a War Games with the amount of people that got into the cage, that tried to interfere outside of the cage. It was absolutely ridiculous. You had El Messias and JBL try to help out Alberto El Patron, which would have made, that made sense if you were trying to book El Patron as the heel in this one. But Vikingo, if you were trying to do that as him as the heel, and he has JBL in his corner, so he's definitely supposed to be the heel here. But the fans are reacting to him like a babyface. And then the babyface, he did not get any time to really showcase his high-flying ability. He had one cool spot where El Patron was standing on the top rope against the cage, and he did like a head scissors down. There was another spot where they went through a table together, and there was another one where Alberto delivered a big Samoan drop off the top rope from off of the cage onto Vikingo. But those are really the only noteworthy things in this cage match that went really long and never really exciting, not really exciting action. Like you had Alberto, his father, tried to get involved in this one. Dos Garda, he tried to get involved in this one to no avail, as Alberto would not come out with the victory. You had JBL trying to help out Alberto, trying to get him out of the cage. You had El Messias. He tried to get Alberto out of the cage at another point. But this just felt like an absolute clusterfuck. And it went nearly 30 minutes. Just ridiculous time. Felt dragged out. And El Vikingo had more help than even Alberto with all the people that helped him, because to counteract El Messias and JBL, you had Nino come out to make the save. You had Laredo Kid come out at another point. Octagon Jr. came out at another point to fight off with Messias. They had a spot with a fire extinguisher that didn't work out. Then it all built up earlier in the show during the promo that we talked about that opened up the YouTube feed. You had JBL and the gang say that Latin Lover couldn't make it to the show and he wouldn't be here. So he has a big entrance where he pulls up in his nice, luxurious car. He comes out. He's got his arm in a sling, and he comes out to help Vikingo fight off El Patron. They botched him handcuffing El Patron to the top of the top rope. Even though El Patron, all of his help is gone at this point. They're fighting off, or they're distracted with other people, because Vikingo had more help than El Patron at the end of this whole thing. So it's Latin Lover trying to handcuff Alberto as he's trying to fight and pull Vikingo out of here. Vikingo, the babyface, trying to escape the cage, which also doesn't work because there's a referee in the cage. You could just have him pin him, hit a 630 off the cage, and simple, he gets the win. But no. They convoluted this finish where Latin Lover handcuffs Alberto to the top rope. They botch him doing it. He has to come into the ring and do it twice. Then the handcuff breaks, so El Patron just has to lay there as Vikingo climbs over the cage very slowly. He finally climbs down the cage very slowly, and he gets his feet to the ground to pick up the victory and retain the AAA Mega Championship. The crowd was not too pleased with this result. They were not happy, as they viewed Vikingo as the heel in this one. This was just an absolute clusterfuck. This is a Botchamania, Matthew from Botchamania Dream Match. A half a star. I'm going to be generous and give this a half a star because this shit was awful. It was not good, folks. This is not one you're going to hear me recommend you. This is not one that's going to be on my top 5 matches of the week. Absolutely not. I will never be foolish enough to say that, and I will never be foolish enough to lie to you. This was awful. This was one of the worst matches of the year. As far as like hype, main event spot, big AAA show, and the fact that Vikingo's coming off of one of the better matches of the year for WWE. I gave him and Gable at Worlds Collide 4.5 stars, and then he has this clusterfuck awful matchup where he is the heel despite being an obvious babyface, and then he's as the babyface he gets no opportunity to really shine in this matchup. This was booked horribly, performed not very well. The crowd was like in Bizarro land. This is about as bad of a main event matchup that you're going to see in modern pro wrestling today. AAA needs a lot of help. And hopefully WWE can fix some of the issues that they have. But that's up to you to decide if that's even possible at this point, because this is not a good promotion. And I saw it here in this event. So it's a rare time. I'm going to have to give the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Let me know in the live chat if you watched the show. If you're here for the premiere, let me know what you gave the show. If you're watching on demand, let me know in the comments down below what you gave the show. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Your match of the night, MVP and LVP. This is a thumbs down for me. Thumbs down for me. I got to just, thumbs down. Thumbs down for me. Out of 10? I only saw 3 matches, and only one was like slightly good. I gave it 3 3.25. I think I should have gave it 3 stars. I think that tag team 4-way is like 3 stars, really. I just compared to the other 2 matches, it felt like a 5-star matchup. But to leave me like that after that main event with 2 guys that I've seen Alberto like 10, 15 years ago have good matches. He's just an awful person. And I've seen Vikingo, like literally a couple of days ago, have a great match. So it was very perplexing how they booked this matchup, how the guys performed it. I'm going to have to give this show a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10, I think I'm being generous. 4 out of 10 just came to my mind because I thought about Bret Hart rating Triple H. But 4 out of 10 is what I'm going to give it, and that's mainly for the 4-way tag. The 4-way tag gets all 4 points. And the X Division 4-way wasn't as bad as the main event. So, AAA, get your life together. Get your life together. You got more eyes on you than ever before with this WWE acquisition. Y'all got to get y'all booking straight because it ain't working. It ain't connecting with the fans on the U.S. side. It ain't connecting with the fans in the Mexican side. You have totally misjudged this whole thing. And there's issues you got to work out. So 4 out of 10 is my score. Match of the night, I'm going to give it to the 4-way AAA Tag Team Championship matchup. MVP for the show, give it to WWE because they got free advertising for the WWE Super Show. And compared to Worlds Collide, this seems even more awful. So WWE might be the best booking that AAA has ever gotten in recent memory. So WWE is the MVP for the night. LVP for the show, El Patron, JBL, Vikingo getting booed out the building, the AAA Monterrey fans. There's a few LVPs for the show. And AAA in general is the LVP because they had Mr. Iguana on the show and didn't have them on the free YouTube feed. Throw this show in the bin. This is probably the worst show that I'll review all year. So, you're welcome, guys. I suffered for the rest of you. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Let me watch it and just watch this review. You can get everything you need to know about it. But that has been my AAA TripleMania Regia review. Thank you so much for suffering through with me and talking about this event. Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHeelSB3. I know it's one or the other. For me, it's this way. For y'all, it's probably this way. Also, show your appreciation for these reviews. Drop the thumbs up. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. We do reviews, shorter reviews like this, solo reviews on our Patreon, patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, the best place to support us when we're not live here or have a video that's on the channel. And go over there right now where you can check out our Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega rewatch series with me and Jimmy McElroy, watching the historic rivalry between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada ahead of All in Texas. Our second episode of watching NJPW Dominion 2017 with the 60-minute classic between Okada and Omega is up right now, so go over and check it out. Check out everything we got on the channel right now, like Rated Raw review number 72, Your Next, reviewing this week's Monday Night Raw with the return of Goldberg. And check out our other pay-per-view review from this past week, NJPW Dominion 2025. Boy, oh boy, it's been a great week for reviews of great shows. What a weekend it was in pro wrestling. Talking about Dominion with House of Torture taking over that event with their reboot and 3 new members. Me and Jay News reviewed that earlier this week, so go over and check it out. And in the meantime, between time, like I said, go to Patreon where we got plenty more content for you to enjoy as well, or become a member and hit the join button where you get some of the Patreon goodness that we have over there. First, you get it over here as a member as well. But thank you so much for watching this video. I will be back live tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with AE Ramble reviewing tonight's AEW Dynamite Grand Slam Mexico event with me and Jimmy McElroy breaking down all 2.5 hours from the show. Enjoy the show tonight. Hopefully we can wash the taste out of this bad weekend of wrestling out of our mouth this week with pro wrestling. And of course, I'll be live on Saturday. I believe it's going to be 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time with the True Hill Heat flagship podcast as well. So go over and check that out. And we'll have another review from over in Mexico later this week. So be on the lookout for that. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. But it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our AAA TripleMania Regia 2025 review. We are signing off until next time.